I'm a lover of light, and I wasn't really quite ready to film this video. And so instead of doing my hair, we're taking full advantage of the light because of how much I love the light. How beautiful, look. Little disco balls everywhere. And then this hallway, hello, hello, hello. Look at this light. Hi, how are you? How are we doing today? Okay, so we're seeing a little bit of my process. I'm just kind of like hanging out in my loft in this like nightgown, could be appropriate to film in, dress situation, and really wanting to take advantage of the light. All right, but I do got really important things to talk about, so no more distractions. Let's get into it. I didn't want it to be a curated video today. I wanted it to be more of a vlog and more of a process, because I spoke about how much work I did to be where I'm at. And, you know, I don't vibe with hard work. Like, there's something about that phrase that just, I don't know, triggers me, because it wasn't no hard. Sometimes it was fun and it was like really passionate and lit up and exciting. And yes, moments of it were hard, but it wasn't all hard. And so to be like, oh, it took so much hard work to be here, I've never vibed with that. It took so much intentional presence and awareness to be here. It took so much pushing through all of the doubt to be here. It took so much doing my own work so that I could show up for my clients well enough that they would want to keep coming and see me to be here. And that's intentionality. It's making sure that I'm really showing up to life in full presence. You know, when you're in the presence of somebody who's fully aware and they're very present, it feels so different than when you're in the presence of somebody who's distracted. And I've been having a lot more of those juxtaposition experiences kind of in my face recently, where, you know, I was with someone that I just recently met and I could describe them as the most present human I've ever met in my life. And when you're in that kind of space and energy with somebody, it's profound. It moves you to a way where you're like, whoa, I actually hope that at some point I can carry that space for people. And then, you know, you're in space with people who are like replying to their emails and text messages because, you know, everyone's building, everyone's busy, everyone just has so much going on. Me included, I get it. I'm also there. And so the difference. And it's like, what kind of person do you want to show up as? Because to me, I would like to embody that kind of, you know what? Yeah, I have 100 things going on, but right now I'm in this moment with you right here. Let me be so present that you feel so seen and heard and felt and cared for. Ooh, that energy is how we heal people. That energy is how we connect with people. That energy is how we love people. More of that, please. Creating in the way I have been creating since moving here has been such a powerful opportunity to grow, because it's really taking a leap of faith within myself and putting myself out there, pursuing these ideas that I've had in my mind, with having to also release the attachment to the outcome. That's so scary. So scary. Truthfully, I said in my last video, when I was just freestyling with my friend Ty one day, that I do believe the success is putting yourself out there and just believing in the vision and just actually following through with a creative idea. And I so fully mean that. But that does not mean that I don't wake up in the middle of the night being like, no one's buying a ticket. And I want to talk through a bit about how to not get stuck in the how do I prove myself to everyone, and just stay in the continual showing up as yourself and having faith that people are going to find you because you need them, they need you. We all are kind of in this whole wild journey of life together. And it wouldn't be a mission of mine, and it wouldn't be such a big calling on my heart if it wasn't supposed to happen. And I have to believe in that. I have to believe in that mostly for sanity's sake, but also because I've been able to actually witness it come to fruition. So I have to believe in that. We live in wild times right now, and I believe wild times requires us to do different things. Perhaps that different thing is learning to invest in yourself in a different way. Something that I've been feeling extremely thankful for is the investments I've taken into my health, like starting back yoga, got me my first kettlebell, still trying to figure it out without hurting myself. Did you know that they offer classes for over 40-year-olds to learn how to lift without harming themselves? I should have probably been investing in myself in that way, because my first attempt at lifting, I hurt my back and had to just like take a little bitty break. Practice makes progress. Start slow. You don't need to just be like whipping around a kettlebell right away. Note to self. I'm thankful for like studying herbalism, because now that I'm back and having my own space, I've been able to recognize some of the fatigue I've had, especially around my cycle. Being a vegetarian, sometimes pescatarian, depending on the day, I started back drinking nettles tea with rose hips, and I'm starting to feel the life literally be poured back into me. And there's just so many investments that I've made within for myself that in this present moment I'm thankful for. And I don't even know that I realized when I was doing the things and making the choices that that's where I was going to be. And I'm so thankful to be investing in my health and my longevity and to feel good in my body and my soul and my mind. I try really, really hard to be a congruent therapist. I really, really want to be practicing the things that I'm teaching my clients to do. Being active and making sure I'm going outside, making sure I'm doing my journal practices, making sure I'm doing the things that I know help me show up as the healthiest, happiest version of myself, so that I can continue to show up in that energy while I'm helping others find their own way to show up in their energy. What's really been kind of lovely is to see my things in this space. And there's things from Peru, things from Costa Rica, some things from Bali, and gifts and art that I've made, and treasures that remind me of Steve or remind me of my grandmother, or my grandfather, or my mom, and lots of nature brought into the house, and lots of rocks, so many rocks, and lots of art, lots of color, and really to be surrounded by objects that I've curated from a life that I have lived and explored and learned from and grew from is in and of itself inspiration. I just find myself wandering around, just kind of looking at things, and then suddenly a spark will come to me of something I should write about or talk about. And there's journals just in every single nook and cranny. In fact, I have to clear a closet because of the art supplies and the journals. Things they don't tell you whenever you're moving into a smaller space is that, what are you going to do with all those journals, girl? I mean, I've been writing pages and pages a day since I could write, really, honestly. And I don't even have my childhood journals here. I'm going to convince my mom to go up in her scary attic one day and break those out, and we'll read them to you, because, ooh, I am sure they hold all kinds of processes of trauma. But to see photographs I took and art that I made at certain periods of my life really has me reflecting on the richness of experience. I pull on all of my life's experience to be a therapist. I pull on all of my life's experience to figure out what to talk with y'all about. I pull on my life's experience to continue to build and grow as a human, to connect with people around me, to build relationships, to build community. And I'm now surrounded by it within my space, and it feels like a really privileged reminder of the depths at which life has taken me, and at the way in which I've been able to kind of go along and heal and grow and expand. When I'm actually recognizing the difference of how I feel in other people's energy, and I'm really in that presence, it makes me want to be so aware of how I'm showing up. And this goes back into the investment within myself. This is the time investment I need to make within myself. Is now that I'm back in the city, everyone's like, hey, we should go here, we should go here, we should go here. And that was the one thing that I really missed about being in the mountains was I had some FOMO of all of the art happenings and the community building and the wellness things and my friends things. There was so much happening in the city that I always just kind of wish I could be there. And now that I'm here, I'm like, I want to go to all of them. Yes, please. Which I need to find the balance, because yes, I want to go be where the people are. That's why I'm here. I'm building that community. I am supporting my friends as they grow, and they're supporting me as we grow. And it's very much a mutual energy exchange. But also, I have got to make sure I also keep my butt in this space that I have curated that brings me so much peace and groundedness and joy and room to come up with my ideas and to carry them into fruition. And I have to invest time into me where it's just me, so that I am showing up in that present and full awareness space that I want to. Because, like I said, when we show up distracted, people feel it. If we show up overly busy because I have this commitment, this thing I want to go to, this thing I want to do for myself, this thing I want to build, this person I want to meet, this person that's really cute that I want to be in their energy, if I'm doing all of that and trying to be present in each of those scenarios, and I'm not having time for practices for myself outside of all of that, y'all are going to feel it. Everyone around me is going to feel it. I, most importantly, am going to feel it. Me feeling grounded and steady and centered and focused and capable and at peace and perfectly content in my own space and energy is the most important thing. It's why I wanted my own space. So yeah, since being back in the city, I'm almost celebrating my month of being here. I have learned that I need to make sure I'm being very intentional about my yeses and my nos. And, it's not even about the people-pleasing aspect of saying no to people at this point, because I have gotten so used to saying no to people just because of the life I have chosen to live. And it's more so I have just been so ready to be in this city's energy. I have been so ready to mixing and mingling with everyone. And so, yeah, this is just me calling myself out of, I just want to be transparent and honest about where I'm at. Like, I am living my best life, but also needing to remember to set some boundaries and have just a little baby chill. In case this hasn't become abundantly clear by now, I have very little chill. So I have been carving my practices back out here. And so now that I'm finding my practices, I can feel my nervous system being like, which a lot of people expected the opposite of happening as soon as I moved to the city. They thought I was going to be frazzled and fried. And there is a very high potentiality, very high potential, whatever the correct way to say that is, to get frazzled and fried in the city. There's constant beeping and sirens and people doing construction above me and below me and neighbors and conversations and people and traffic. Traffic. Now, I feel so at peace when I'm in my space. I feel so at peace when I'm in the green spaces with people. I feel so at peace when I'm like out and about with people. When I'm in my car, there's a little bit of rage. A lot of bit of rage. A whole bunch of rage. Car road rage. So, we're still working on that. I also feel like if you've ever driven in Atlanta traffic, you're also working on, how do I not have rage right now? Just really extremely important to me that even though I am in a space where I feel grounded and landed and happy and thankful and content and all of the things, I'm also still building a business that I see the vision for, and I also see the potential in, but also it's slow. And building a business in the chaotic world we live in, even when you know your message is what's needed, there's a lot of doubt that sometimes comes in. So there's still so much navigating my inner voice, my inner dialogue, the lack mentality that, I keep pulling it from its roots, and then all of a sudden it grows back a little bit, and I'm like, missed a little root, and man, that thing is pesty. It just keeps coming back. pestiest weed I've ever dealt with in my whole life. And I love weeds. I eat weeds. Chickweed, dandelion. Okay, let's not go down that rabbit hole. Yes, I am so thankful and hopeful and finally seeing things line up. I have my own space. I have so much more clarity. But that does not mean that I don't have to be so active in the work of removing all the anxiety all the time. The anxiety that I am speaking of is the exact reason why investing in myself is so important. And it's the exact reason in which I want to ask y'all, like, how are you investing in you? I don't mean, are you putting a bunch of money into your business? I don't mean, are you buying yourself a new wardrobe, which are very valid investments because both of those things matter. I'm talking about health, mental, physical, spiritual, emotional. Like, where is your capacity for things lie? My investments at this moment are like, I want to eat really healthy food. And I want to go to events that are going to enrich my life and help me manage some of this anxiety and grow in my self-belief. And I want to invest in practices that I know are building me up, that are nourishing my nervous system. Somatic practices have become my most important practices. I am constantly moving my body in strange ways. You guys know this by now. I'm like, wiggle, 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 shake it off. And very intentionally just swaying and moving. And that's why I made a bike ride. That, riding your bike is such a beautiful way to just clear. I am creating a walking experience. And my friend who does incredible Reiki, she has just like untied so many knots from me. She's a chiropractor and a Reiki master. Do we call them Reiki masters? I guess that's what we're going to call her because she is amazing. And when I tell you the fact that you're going to have her and I and her wife, who's also just magic, in the room together, ooh, that energy. I really hope people buy that experience, because talk about us teaching you to somatically move things out of your body and to also put that healing energy into your body back. Ooh, really excited. But all the things that I'm mostly offering, probably community-wise, for the next at least year are going to have a huge somatic element to it, because something that I learned very clearly within my own body was that while talking and expressing and creating and transmuting and verbalizing and all of those things were so very helpful to me, I also needed to clear it all that was being stored in my body. Oh, was I storing so much trauma and anxiety? And I probably still am. To be completely transparent, there's still some times where I'm like, ooh, I feel that. Get out, get out, get out. You just gotta be so random with your movements. Just follow what feels good. Who cares about looking cool? It's kind of why I wore my PJ dress for this video, because who cares about looking cool? Do what feels the most freeing to you. Sun always dissipates energy. And so, as I said, I love the light. And I have really beautiful light here right now. As the sun sort of changes, it's quite cool to experience what kind of lighting I will have here. And it's going to change seasonally. And at the moment, I am basking. Bask with me, shall we? Leading into like the full romanticized life, drinking water from goblets, making delicious smoothies and drinking them from beautiful vessels, and eating food that is just so enriching to my body. And as I'm cooking it, I'm just being like, I love you so much. I'm so thankful for this ability. And I am tapping so deeply into gratitude, because gratitude has always been my lifesaver, but also the more grateful we live in, the more we are able to actually recognize the little things in the thick of all of the storms that help us survive. Because, recognizing the absolute chaos and the grief and the tragedy and the unfairness and the unjust and the just insanity is so vital. to living a fully balanced life. We cannot be blind. We cannot close our eyes. However, we can't only do that. We're not going to survive. That's going to break us. You have to also be like, I'm so thankful for this opportunity, the way I show up for myself in this. The fact that I am surrounded by art that I have collected and built and made and had my husband make over the years. The fact that I have community makes me feel like the luckiest human in the world. I love people, and the fact that people are also loving me, how pure, how amazing. My mom got me this when I started counting my blessings. My whole life turned around. Years ago, she got me that. And really, truly, it's been one of the most profound truths that I found in my life. Hello, professional cameraism. And this all goes back to what I was saying, investing in yourself. I am investing in continuing to grow as a creative, continuing to show up to this platform, because truly making videos and producing things, seeing the shot in my mind and practicing executing them, practicing editing, which, hey, I've come a long way, okay? But still, I am investing in myself. Every time I do something that is one of my ideas and I put it out into the world, I'm investing in myself, because I am showing up to my creative visions and teaching myself that I believe in them enough to pursue them and following through with them. And yeah, that's what this looks like. So in summary, I'm here. I'm so thankful, and I'm a work in progress, and I need to continue to invest in myself and be very honest with myself about what that looks like, and call myself out when I feel a little bit out of alignment, and just adjust as I need to, and adjust again and not expect perfection, and to continue to recognize the growth as well as recognizing where there needs growth. And as I hold space for everyone in my life and continue to try to show up as present and real and alive and aware and fully making sure I'm doing that for myself and having others around me that do that for me. That part.